Hi there, and good morning to the trade setup right here on BloombergQuint Live. I'm Niraj Shah. Let me adjust my mic. Yes, okay. I hope you can hear me better now. So it's not a bad day compared to what we were experiencing in trade yesterday. I think the global markets have done okay. The futures are doing okay, and even though the coronavirus cases are rising, there's still hope. So first, quickly, what the U.S. markets did in overnight session, and I think quite in a stark contrast to what they did the day before yesterday. Yesterday they were marginally positive, if that is any solace. So not a bad, not a not a good close, not a bad close, a flattish close, but the futures are also in the green, so that is actually a good sign. And therefore, what Asia and SGX are doing are important, but not necessarily critical, because you may start off in one way during the course of the day because of the flattish to a marginally positive start anticipated. I don't think there will be too much of dependence on what the SGX is, for example, saying to what we will do during the course of the day. I mean, HSI, for example, has had a fabulous day today. Kospi is okay. The others are not as gung-ho as HSI is, by the way, keep that in mind. And the SGX will next come up on your screen and it'll show you what I'm talking about, which is that yes, there is optimism, and we will start off arguably in the way that in the way of the green, but there is not as much optimism as HSI is, so about 1/3%. But let's wait and watch. During the course of the day, these things could very well change. We are very close to the key resistance levels as well, by the way. Keep in mind 12,000 remains that key resistance level, and I think therefore everybody will be monitoring that very, very closely. Now, the trade setup for the day, viewers, I think the markets will gyrate to the stimulus stocks as they inch closer. I mean, overnight, all that we hear seems to suggest that there is some bit of agreement getting reached on the stimulus, and that will have a bearing on the risk on sentiment for a day or two maybe, but it does. But there is also this pullback of rising coronavirus cases in Europe. The cases are really spiking. And even though lockdowns have not appeared, social distancing norms, etc., have come back. I mean, you would have known all about this. All I'm trying to put this into perspective: the next 14 days until the election verdict is out, or 13 days until the election verdict is out, you'll probably have to do with the pressures from rising COVID cases, Europe and elsewhere, versus the stimulus measures. In India, I think the virus cases are looking a bit more benign compared to what they were. Foreign investors continue to buy, though. 1585 crores bought in the cash markets in yesterday's session. So that flurry continues. Even though DIs are selling, FIs 2 days on a trot have bought, and this month has not been all that bad. I think technology bounced back, showed strength. Remember, day before yesterday, we were believing that RIL and IT will bounce back. They didn't do it day before yesterday, but yesterday technology did bounce back. However, I do think BFSI is still in the driver's seat somehow across the board, because investors have been underweight banking and financial services, and now the belief is that they may not do as badly. I think the risk on move is returning. And keep in mind, viewers, I spoke about this all through the month of September. When FIs pull out money, BFSI tends to underperform. When FIs are putting in money, BFSI and Bank Nifty continues to outperform. And with FIs putting in money in the cash market, I dare say it might be a very loose correlation. I may get proven wrong, but I think empirical evidence shows that is what happens. So don't try and be short on the Bank Nifty is all I'm saying. So I think these are the key factors that all of us should watch out for. Also, pharma selectively, while it has been on a bit of a back foot, Granules numbers today, it's a small company, but Granules numbers today will make people believe that the API story is very much alive and kicking, and therefore the Granules, Divi's, Solara, etc., all of that space of pharma companies will probably not have a bad time. What are the earnings to watch out for today? I think Ultratech, very important after what ACC has done yesterday. Ultratech is very, very important. But Bajaj Finance and FinServ could be important too. And the reason why finance is particularly important is because HDB Financial came out with a fairly weak performance and commentary. And if Bajaj Finance does the same, then it could be a problem. But if Bajaj Finance tends to do much better than what HDB Financial has done, then you reckon that the markets will reward it even more, because HDB Financial is large, right? HDFC Bank's arm. And if Bajaj Finance does well while HDB Financial is not, then the markets would want to reward Bajaj Finance disproportionately, to my mind. So watch out for this one. Very important earnings today. And then at the broader end of the spectrum, the 2 or 3 that we would be watching out for include a Syngene, Colgate Palmolive, and GMM Pfaudler. So I think GMM Pfaudler's case, the revised numbers with the global parent would all keep the stock very, very importantly placed. One of the stocks to watch out for today, though, on open, one of them is Hindustan Zinc. They've announced a 9,000 crore rupee interim dividend at 21.3 rupees per share, which is a large one, a dividend yield of 9.48%. So this one should have a positive reaction, even though the dividend, it's way higher than what they typically do. But you know why it is happening, right? For Vedanta. Now, when Vedanta gets in the money, and therefore, does Vedanta pass on? No, is a separate thing. And because I don't know about Vedanta's side, I'm not trying to speak too much about what will happen to Vedanta as a result of this. But Hindustan Zinc should augur well. Axis Cap, the note on Hindustan Zinc, they maintained the buy. They raised the target price to 265. JP Morgan has raised the target price too, but Bank of America Merrill Lynch has cut the target price. So I don't know if you can depend on what brokerages are saying as far as Hindustan Zinc goes. So if you go on to our media, our Twitter handle, or others, and you will see various reports, some which are cutting target prices, some which are high target prices. You might not know what to do. I just think that net, such a large dividend should be positive from a Hindustan Zinc shareholder individually, and therefore it should be construed well. Don't quite know about Vedanta. As I said, I repeat, be careful if you're trading that one. L&T Infotech, good numbers, dollar revenue growth, 3.6%. The rupee revenue growth in line with what the estimates were. Net profit, 456 crores. Again, the expectations were about 429 crores for L&T Infotech. So that's largely in line or maybe marginally better. Margins kind of meandering at the levels that were anticipated. So L&T Infotech could be an interesting one. On Unilever, the buy rating has been maintained. The price target is at 2,700. They are saying that Q2 trends reflect the improvement in the core business, and the best of the GSK portfolio is yet to come. So do watch out for this one as well in the session today. Some stocks in which there was some long build-up or long unwinding and short build-up. So just want to quickly mark what the F&O universe was up to in trade yesterday. Key names there. Asian Paints saw a price change, OI change, fresh longs there ahead of numbers. Godrej Properties, fresh longs ahead of numbers. Mindtree, some short covering a week after the numbers. And then Britannia saw some fresh shorts. So this will be interesting. By the way, for all of you who are interested in knowing more about Britannia, we talked to the management today in a detailed fashion at 9:45, 9:50 a.m. You may want to tune in for that on Talking Points. So if you're a Britannia shareholder or want to trade into Britannia, you might want to log in for that. Last but not least, viewers, I haven't quite given that stock, but Prabhat Dairy might be in focus today because SEBI's asked the promoters to deposit some 1,200 crores because of differences with auditors. I don't think too many people are invested in that stock now. It's lost its mojo quite seriously. But it was active yesterday, the stock. And therefore, I thought I'll just bring it out that if you're a market watcher and if you see Prabhat Dairy stock reacting, you know what the reason is. But be mindful, banking still looks good. ITs looked good yesterday. So we might not have tough days from an index perspective. Bottom up, a bunch of results come out today. So all of those could be reacting to them. Watch out for Bajaj Finance in particular. Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup today.